So the event is called Eyes Wide Open, a glance into the epidemic of homelessness and addictions. We really just want to educate the community of North Bay because there's been some horrendous things that we've seen online, and they can be very triggering to read, but it just shows the lack of education and the need for support of the people in our community.
The whole goal is to sort of inject empathy into people because people that face issues like homelessness and addictions are often seen as less than people who don't face those issues. So the goal is to kind of educate them and show the human behind the issues and not just the issues as one thing.
I think that we need to shift our entire perspective rather from reactive to proactive, because it's becoming really expensive, straight up. Like, admissions to a hospital are not cheap, and to stay in a hospital is not cheap. And so we're at a point where we're more focused on how can we just help them after the fact rather than how can we hit it beforehand. The education's not there, the schooling's not there. To talk to kids who are 16, 17, to take Xanax on the bus ride into school is normal. To them to talk about fentanyl is normal. For them to smoke a bong on a bus is normal. And that's not okay. So going rather from reacting to how can we save it once you've already started, how can we just get to the very beginning and not make you start, or how can we make it so it's not becoming that issue? And with that, we can put more funding into creating a better system that's going to work properly. So hopefully we see a shift, but you never know. Things like this is what gets that drive going, and hopefully this event can, start something.
When you're homeless, you're not just facing one barrier, you're facing a multitude of barriers. From your income, a lot of these folks are dealing with OW or ODSP, which is a limited source of income. Furthermore, upon that, if you don't have shelter, you don't get the shelter portion of your check. Furthermore, homeless people, in my mind, should get at least their shelter portion to find somewhere to live. So it's barriers like that people don't see unless they're involved in the system and working in the system that hold people back to a very high degree.
The biggest change that North Bay can make is to break down stigma. We see things like warming shelters open up, and because of the stigma that we have in our community, it's instantly seen as a bad thing. Oh, my kids go to school near there, or there's traffic there, or whatever. The stigma creates issues for our city council and people that are in charge of these projects to put them in place, because when they put them in place, it seems like 90% of North Bay is totally against it. There's outcry and everyone's freaking out. But the reality is that if 10% of North Bay needs it and the other 90% doesn't, it's not the 90%'s job to freak out. It's the 90%'s job to support that and help people get the help they need.
Yeah, and I think something that's really big for me is addictions and homelessness doesn't have a face. I feel like a lot of the time there's a stigma of what someone that faces addiction or homelessness looks like, and I really just want you to realize that someone you work with, someone you go to school with, someone you even live with could be dealing with that, and just try and educate yourself.